All right, Joey.
Mr. Mark.
You got us prepared today.
Yes.
You're arming our buyers with red flags.
Yes.
You're telling them what to look out for when viewing a home.
Yes. We're talking everything about, what you would look for in a home inspection before the home inspection.
Yeah, just general things to be very cautious about.
Yeah. I like it. And we're getting into some things that might be considered the danger zone.
There's a lot of missed opportunities in this episode, and Joey picked up on one of them right here. We're trying to keep you out of the danger zone. This man does yoga with a goat in this episode. I eat a duck. Hilarity ensues. Enjoy episode 85.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Welcome to the Toronto Livings Podcast, a conversation about all things Toronto with a focus on real estate, the culture, and of course, the food.
I'm Mark Savell.
And I'm Joey Virgilio.
And we're realtors with Sage Real Estate, working together as a Toronto Livings team with a focus on helping you buy better, sell higher, and of course, having a little bit of fun along the way. Hello, Joey.
Hello, Mark.
What have you got for us today?
we got, first off, did you notice the plants in the background?
Oh, whoa. Hello. I didn't. When did they arrive?
We got new aesthetic coming in.
We did. We got another donation.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not a forever donation though.
This is a temporary donation.
I don't know. We'll see if I could swindle them from her. These come from our good friend Renee Elliott.
This is Renee Elliott
from RE Creative, the stager extraordinaire.
Yep.
She came through and let us borrow. I'm like, yeah, I'll return them to you. Never. 2 fig fiddles.
Yeah. Oh, is that what they're called? Fig fiddles?
Yeah. I'm a big fig fiddle guy.
Fig fiddle sounds like a fantastic instrument.
I've not tried playing them yet, but you might be onto something. Funny Adriana S story. During COVID, she had a little one in her office.
Yeah.
And when the office shut down, the plant stayed there and died. And it was small. It was like a foot tall. And so I was like, oh, let me see if I could bring it back to life. So when I was living at Treviso, I put in that southern exposure.
Yeah. We
now have it at our loft. It's like 10 feet tall.
Oh, get out of here.
It's massive.
Green thumb.
Yeah. So we have real, these are, for those watching at home, these are not real fiddles. But they would work in low light.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because, I bought a plant once and boy, did it go poorly.
It was a one and done?
Yeah, it just made my office a complete mess. And just by the end of it, it was just burning it alive. It needed low light, but I was like, but it looks good by the window.
Oh, so you didn't follow the instructions?
No, I don't even know what the instructions were. There was somebody was selling them at a market and I was like, $20, count me in.
What type of plant was it?
It was like a palm of some type.
Yeah,
let's call it a palm.
That's good enough for me. That sounds like a bit of a horror story.
Oh, I like the segue.
Ties in nicely to this week's episode entitled
The Home Inspection Horror Show.
Red Flags and What It Will Cost You.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't actually know what the law costs you, but it's a catchy title.
Yeah, it's a nice catchy title. And we're going to talk about if you get a home inspection, what are the things that are actually red flags to consider? Actually, even just going through the place and what you should be paying attention to even before a home inspection takes place.
I like that.
So things to look out for, red flags, things that spark your red flags, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do all that this week. We'll kind of get into it. You kind of organized it really nicely. But maybe we should start as we always do.
Yes, let's do it.
Should we do a call to action?
Let's do it. Actually, before we get into our weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to call it out?
Yeah, I'll call it out.
You call it out. I got some more hate comments this week.
Listen, did you? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Let's.
So the running joke is when Joey makes the call to action, we get no hate comments. When I make it, oh man.
If you're somebody, let's put it this way: if you're somebody who appreciates a good fig fiddle, then do us a favor and and subscribe because we'll have more of these fig fiddles all over the place.
Oh, I could raid her entire warehouse for fake plants if that's the route you want to go. Also, let us know. Do you like these plants? Is it too much?
Legitimately, we're taking opinions all over the place.
Yeah, this is the opinion episode.
Let us know. Do you like one? Do you like two?
Do you like none?
Do you like none?
Do you want 3?
Yeah.
We probably won't do 3, but let us know if you like 3. And I guess what Joey's trying to say is wherever you watch this, please
like, subscribe, and comment on things.
I got a 4th one. Share with your friends and family.
Share with your friends and family.
Yeah.
You're getting, it's in our theme song thing.
It is. Yeah. It is.
If you like, or if you get any value from the podcast,
please share.
Please like and subscribe. I think we say that,
but we don't say share with your friends and family.
No, we don't say that. Yeah.
Look out for the remix. It's a remix to Edition and Fresh Out the Kitchen. Remember that song?
I do remember that song.
Who was that song? Oh, that was R. Kelly.
Was that?
We don't speak.
We're not going there.
All right. Yeah. Changing topic.
How was your week?
Where did you eat? Do you want to tell the people where you went this week?
I did some stuff this week.
I would say this was your GOAT of locations.
Well done.
GOATs, which stands for greatest of all time, and also
goat yoga.
You did goat yoga.
I did goat yoga.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so did goat yoga. Also, you're on point with the transitions today, if I will say.
It must be my Canadian-made Esco water. Still don't have a sponsor. But everyone's looking to sponsor us.
We're still in the call to action.
The call to action segment actually hasn't ended yet. All right, reset.
Okay.
How was your week? Where'd you eat? Take it away.
Yoga. Okay, so goat yoga was a thing this week. Me and Molly C went down to Stacked, actually. They held it in Stacked. They do it at a couple locations, but I was looking up for something for her for Christmas. And lo and behold, goat yoga was a thing. And I thought this would be such a funny thing to do. And it was exactly what you'd expect goat yoga to be, which is a yoga instructor standing at the front of the room trying her absolute best to get people's attention as little mini baby goats. So they're not only, so I didn't know that mini goats existed in the first, Molly was like, they're mini goats. And I'm like, no. They're baby goats. It's called, it's like mini goat yoga. It's because they're babies. Lo and behold, they're baby minis. So it's an extra version of small you have never seen before.
Okay, some genetic mutation that they're now exploiting into yoga. Love it.
Yeah, no, it was it was exactly what you'd picture. You're constantly just trying to do yoga poses. Also, speaking on the goats is one thing, but like I realized how I am very stiff as a human being. We're talking about the yoga side of it. Woof. Yeah, that was a very rough awakening.
And then you have a goat walking around you.
I got a goat around me. Like my spine is breaking as I'm like posing, trying to pet the goat at the same time. But no, it was good. It was a good experience. Yoga Kawa is the group that puts it together.
Oh, I thought Yoga Cow was like another version. Like you can go yoga with cows.
I would 100%
do
be
that?
Doing that as well. Yeah. No, Yoga Kawa is they do kittens, puppies, and goats are their other things, and they hold them once every month, and they have to wait once a month because new mini goats get born. Yeah.
Right? So circle of life.
It's a circle of life type of thing. So I'm bad at yoga. I'm great at petting goats, and no, it was a great time. It's exactly what you'd expect it to be.
You inspired an idea for me.
Okay.
Python Pilates.
Okay.
You do Pilates with pythons in the room. And if you mess up, lunch is served.
I walked out of there being like, what an amazing business idea this is. It's just like get a yoga instructor, team up with somebody who's got goats and call it a day.
Let the magic happen.
So Python Pilates, I'm sure will kill.
Literally.
In more ways than one.
You got any Esco water in that coffee? Oh, I think we got a giggly episode this one.
So goat yoga was a thing, but I need to shout out one more thing that I kept saying I was going to try. If we're talking about the food side of stuff, I have so many food all over.
I'm so worried. Okay, let me see where this goes, and I'll tell you what I was thinking you're about to say.
Okay,
I hope it doesn't go there.
There's no goat. There's no goat on the menu.
Okay. I thought you were like, we went for goat roadie down the street, and it was fantastic.
No, absolutely not. Oh Jesus, no. No, we went to. So I was in Etobicoke.
Yes.
And I kept saying I was going to do this, so I need to shout out the Fatas for pointing out Freebird Market to me.
So we're talking Crystal and Jason Fata.
Yes.
Realtors with Sage Real Estate.
Yes.
Limited.
And I messaged Crystal right away because I was literally like, okay, I had a bite of this. So let me talk about this. Freebird Market is Dundas and Kipling pretty much.
Okay.
Kind of just tucked away in right off of Kipling. And you pull in to this. It looks like a nice spot. Like it's shown
done.
very nicely. Yeah, but you kind of drive past the building and you're like, okay, there's no parking in the front, like 4 or 5 spots. So let's just keep going. And maybe I can find side parking. Then you head to the back parking lot and okay, I'm going to park here. And as you're walking past the building back up to the front door, you start smelling all the bakery, all that they have the pizzas and whatever else they're making in there. It just starts to smell incredible. And it was pouring rain outside, and there was so many people walking to that front door, and I was like, get out of here. This is people are starting to know this spot for sure.
Okay.
Went in there. I had no idea what to order. I was like, I'll just get a piece of pizza from the bakery. I'll just see what's up. And I walked up to the counter, and they had a fresh porchetta just at the top of the counter. So you're standing at the back of the line, which is a decently lengthy line. And I had somebody in front of me, thankfully, was just like, she was like, can I get a porchetta sandwich? Because I didn't even know you can order a porchetta sandwich. And so I did. I did the same thing. All the toppings, just put it on. And it was one of the most flavor-filled porchetta sandwiches I've ever had in my entire life. I got to shout them out. It holds up.
Okay.
It holds up. The flavors, they had pickled onions on this like fresh, juicy, it was like a perfect ratio of like, the fat, I guess the main protein, and then the crispy skin on it. They had like an olive spread. It was done so well. I'm absolutely going back.
Wow.
If I'm ever in the area again, I will be stopping back.
And one sandwich was enough?
So it's a very rich sandwich.
Okay.
So I will say, not that I was like, oh, I can't breathe because I'm so full, but by the end of that sandwich, I absolutely wanted to take a nap. It was a bad choice for a midday sandwich, but no, it was incredible. I shout out all the way, Freebird Market.
Okay.
I'll find the address. We'll link it. But
yeah, it'll be in the show notes. Thank you, Crystal and Jason.
Yeah, it holds up. You guys did well.
Yeah, they've mentioned it a few times to us, and I was like, okay, we should listen to them now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you took them up on it. And
I told Crystal right away. I said, you've earned my food trust from this point forward. If you say something, I'm going to be listening.
Love it. So no goat, but lots of pork.
No goat. Yes, it wasn't a goat sandwich of any type. Lots of pork and Gusto. I went to Gusto 101 also after the goat yoga.
You had a busy week.
That was a pricey day.
But it's for love.
But it was for love.
Yeah. You can't put a price on love. That's what Adrienne S tells me. That's why we're looking for sponsors.
But yeah, how was your eventful week this week?
My week was great. It was fantastic. We went to the TFC game last week.
Nice.
Got to experience the Tunnel Club again. I did this last year. Got to do it again this year.
Yep.
Such a good experience. Rough start to the season, but I got some high hopes for the team to kind of bring it all back and come forward. But I didn't have goat this week, but I did have duck.
Oh, fancy.
Have you had duck before?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like it?
Done right? Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, Chinese style duck is the duck I'm referring to here.
Yeah.
We went to this place called, I don't want to get it wrong, Mott 32.
Mott 32.
Yeah, I kept thinking they were saying Lot 332, which is like the old club that we used to go to. I'm like, really? They do duck now? But it was Mott 32. It's at the Shangri-La.
Okay.
So they took over, it used to be a Momofuku there. And about 4 or 5 years ago, Mott 32 came in. Never really heard of it. Clients of ours took us out just as a kind of a thank you dinner type thing.
Yeah.
And this place is incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
3 floors, just designed beautifully. You ride the elevator up, you come out and you're kind of overlooking university, nice dark space.
Love it.
Tables are gorgeous. And the duck
was on point.
Oh, I thought it was really good.
Okay. I've only had duck. Really, I've only had it one other time, and they had like the lettuce wrap type of thing. Yeah. That's how you eat it.
That's how you eat
right?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So they bring out those little thin steamed pancakes.
Yes.
And you put your cucumbers and you put your, I think it's hoisin sauce.
Yes.
I might be saying it wrong, but they had house-made hoisin sauce, so it wasn't like the generic store-bought one. And this is definitely an elevated experience. So like I was looking at the menu, like one duck was like $180.
Oh.
And that wasn't the most expensive duck.
Oh man.
It was a group
you can
of
get
us.
a type of duck?
You can at Mod 32. They had, their super expensive one was $480.
Whoa. Holy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some serious duck.
I'm thinking of putting salmon fishing on ice this summer and going duck hunting. There's a market there. Yeah, there's a market for duck hunting. This was the one we had was an applewood roasted duck, and it was like, delicious.
Yeah,
Skin was good, and just loved it so much. And we also had a short rib.
Okay.
It was a Black Angus triple cooked. So you know how the keg does the double baked potatoes? This is a triple cooked rib.
Oh.
It came out really nice. They had like the long rib, and then they cut up like slices of the meat so it sat on the rib.
Oh, nice.
Then they dress that, and then you kind of eat it from there. It was, really good experience.
Love that. Yeah.
Mott 32.
Oh, it's making me hungry. I have not eaten yet today. So
sorry.
Everything is just like,
Sorry, man. I had a mocktail. Will that make you less hungry?
Okay, yeah, that does.
Yeah, I'm not a big cocktail guy. I usually like Sprite or Coke when I go out to restaurants.
Makes sense.
Just a thing. But I just tried a mocktail, so I was like, all right, let's do it. I got the Mango Paradise mocktail. Yuzu, mango, and guava.
So it's a mocktail is just a cocktail without booze?
Yeah.
Is that the deal? Okay, okay. Yeah.
Did the job.
Just like a juice. It's a good juice.
Pretty much it's a juice.
Yeah.
A very expensive juice. Yeah. So expensive night, good times. Big thank you to our clients who took us out there. Wonderful experience.
Amazing.
I thought you were going to be more like wowed by the $480 duck.
I am wowed by that. Yeah, that's insanity.
Okay. Because that plays into my next point.
Okay.
This is kind of a news you can use, kind of a good segue to, have you heard what DoorDash did in the US?
No. Okay. No, I have not heard this yet.
I teased you on the phone that I got to talk about something big. This is the big thing I want to talk to you about.
Let's hear it.
DoorDash has partnered up with Klarna.
Okay.
You know what Klarna is?
No.
Me neither. But sometimes when you're shopping on these websites, we're buying some art for the office, so I've seen them come up quite a bit.
Okay.
They allow you to break down your payments. So if you're ordering like an expensive piece of art, make 4 payments of $4,000.
Okay.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, they're doing it with DoorDash. So you could finance your Ubers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And like 0% finance?
There's
or?
3 options.
Oh, good Lord.
I like how you're like, what type of terms are we talking about here? You're not like, this is egregious. Don't allow this. You're like, okay, but 0% financing?
Does it make sense or does it not make sense?
Like all things fast food and disruptive economy, it's going to make sense for the first 3 months, and then you're going to be a slave to payment plans for your Uber Eats for the next 10 years of your life.
It's a good point. But what were the 3 options?
So 3 options are pay now, normal.
Yeah.
Don't use the financing.
I can't believe they're doing financing for this.
Option 2 is 4 payments, 0% financing.
Okay.
Option 3 is defer all your payments to a later date and time with interest.
That's so ridiculous that this is a thing.
This is a thing.
That's how much people are spending on this.
That there's a market to finance essentially food deliveries. Yeah.
Food deliveries.
I keep saying Uber. Uber's not part of this at all. It's just DoorDash.
It's just DoorDash. Yeah.
And it's only in the US.
That is absurd.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm like, that's insanity.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. You order Uber Eats at like whatever, even if it's like $100, it's like, you're gonna defer that? I don't know. Just don't order it.
Thank you. I've only been saying that since episode 4. These fast food things are what's driving people broke.
Yeah,
like
I will concur with that.
Don't get me wrong. Look, once in a while you want to order it, I'm all for that. Maybe you're having drinks, you don't want to drive. That's a great idea to do it. But this is definitely targeting those that should not be doing it.
So much so.
Yeah.
It's become a convenience.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you don't feel it because it's on a app. So you just hit the double click and you're in.
And how long before it's like, oh, you've overfinanced your food credit card? Like, what do you go to jail?
Oh man, I
don't know.
Don't know what that's all about. That is crazy to me that this is a thing. That blew my mind and something I'm drawing my line at.
Yes. We have to have a sit down if you ever are like, do you mind if I defer this? We're gonna pay in 4 easy installments of $6.95 each.
That's so insane.
These BOGOs won't be BOGOs for much longer.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thankfully the internet's not approving it. Like there's so many memes about it.
Oh, people have just been like, no, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Thank God.
They're using like The Big Short.
Yeah.
They're using memes from that, like packing it up into a derivative and then trying to calculate how to profit off of it. It's crazy. So
fair enough.
I don't know. I hope it kind of fizzles out and doesn't become the norm.
Agreed. Actually, totally agree with that. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And a friendly reminder, like, just walk to the store.
Yeah.
Go interact with people. There's nothing wrong with eating out.
I support it. I will say, since I've started coming to the office, I do that more often.
Right?
Yeah.
We're in a very friendly area, though. I don't know if you recognize that.
Yeah.
Like everybody here is like old school. Like you go see them, like, hey, how's it going?
Very true.
You can shoot the breeze with them, and it's that helps. But I think if you just went out, if people went out more often, they'd find that in like
it's a little
many
more
neighborhoods.
Common.
Yeah.
See a lot of small shops and things like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the How Was Your Week segment.
Yeah.
Tell me about your listing, the Garden Suite.
Oh,
Heard you had some success there.
Yeah, success is in after I'm almost sure. I actually took a video of a screen video of me scrolling through the amount of messages I got for that unit, and it took 44 seconds to get all the way through from top to bottom.
Over 1,000, I think you said.
Yeah, easily.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was absolutely absurd. But we did find somebody. I'm very happy. She's very happy for the landlord. Very happy for the new. We're still in conditional period, but we're pretty much there at this point.
Feeling good.
Yeah, it's feeling good. She's very sweet. Both people are very sweet. So I think it's a good partnership that's taking place.
Good stuff. We reduced O'Neill.
Yes.
50 O'Neill. Best price condo in the area. Someone undercut us with a cheaper price. So legally, I can no longer say we're the best price condo. However, they didn't have the success they were looking for, and they relisted higher than us.
Right.
So we are back to being the best price condo, and to kind of incentivize, we brought the price down to $524,900.
It's a good deal.
It's a good deal. It's better than what DoorDash is selling you in the US.
This one we're approving financing.
Yes. This one is a good debt to get into. Quick reminder: we're just under 500 square feet. We have parking, locker, very well laid out space, good sized bedroom, and a massive balcony.
That balcony we got to talk about.
Yeah, it's
that
huge.
Thing is huge. You can throw You can throw a party out there.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can order BOGOs out there.
Yeah.
And have space for more BOGOs.
Yeah.
It's very BOGO friendly.
It's BOGO on BOGOs over
Yeah,
there.
BOGO day. All right. I think that's a good place to get into the content of things. Good
segue.
What am I trying to say here? Yeah.
Good place to draw the porchetta sandwiches.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's draw some porchetta sandwiches. Let's get into this week's main discussion. And what we want to talk about is some home inspection horror stories. Stuff to look out for, red flags, stuff of that nature.
Yeah, things you're looking for in just when you're walking through. Again, if you're walking through and just before a home inspection takes place, if you have a home inspection, you're looking at it and you're thinking about what you should worry about. This is just a list that kind of encompasses that.
I like that.
So let's get into the first one. And let's talk about cosmetic cover-up scams.
I like that. Lipstick on a pig. That's what I call them.
Lipstick on a pig. Yeah. If you see freshly painted and you see kind of the light stuff, the easy stuff to fix, just kind of, I don't know. I think it's good to pay attention, ask some extra questions, because it's really easy to kind of cover up, let's say water stains or, I don't know, just the simple things it's easy to paint it up.
Yeah. So from my experience, what I'll say is this: I'm sometimes shocked by how many clients will send me these type of properties saying like, oh, this looks great. Should we go check it out? And fair enough, their eyes maybe is not as trained as we are from all the homes we've seen, but like, I don't know, my spidey senses go off right away. There's certain elements. I look at an MLS photo, I'm like, Home Depot special on the floors. You got the, I don't know, some people call them like the half boob lights.
Yep.
Is that
half boob?
Half
call
boob
them half
lights?
boobs.
Yeah, officially the half boob lights. The developer specials, they got like the sticker still on the stove top, and like 9.5 times out of 10, I'll check the history and like the house sold 3 months ago.
Yeah.
For like 400,000 less than what they're trying to sell it now, or whatever the number is. So when you see those type of homes, when you look around the MLS where everything looks kind of very cookie cutter, very basic, you definitely want to be asking, let's look back a bit and see when's the last time it sold. Did they just kind of get it ready for sale? And then when I buy this place, I'm going to have to rip it all out to fix all the problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it flipped? Was it just a quick, like, I purchased to flip it? Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I like that.
Totally.
So I guess on the same theme, the DIY disaster.
Okay. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Do
you have experience in that?
No, but I want to talk about permits specifically.
Yes.
So the do-it-yourself is, first off, a lot of times you can tell when it's a do-it-yourself.
Yep.
When you're walking through right away, you'll start to see things that aren't quite lined up properly, or there's just, there's a certain quality that you can kind of just starts breathing through the finishes.
Yeah. The attention to detail is missing.
Yeah. That being said, if it's done yourself, even if it's done properly, if it's not permitted, you can also run into trouble.
You could.
So asking if you know renovations were done, and if you're a shopper and you're asking about what the deal is, and you found out that it's done in the last year or so, ask for permits.
Yeah.
Because you could, again, like that could be something that was done incorrectly. And if you get somebody blowing a whistle on you in some type of way, that could be a repair that takes place.
Yep.
That's going to be whose responsibility?
Whose cost? Yeah. Where's it coming from? I see this a lot on the flip side when I'm in listing presentations, walk into a gorgeous home, or maybe the work is done a little bit better than a DIY standard.
Yeah.
And I'll say, great, this all looks great. Clearly I could see you updated the electrical, etc. did you get permits for them? And that's when things get awkward. Like, oh no, my cousin did it. Okay, you still need permits. Yeah. Well, he's an electrician. Cool. So then you got the permits, right? Well, da. Yeah. And so we have to have a serious conversation about that because that could come back and bite you. And there are certain things you have to do to kind of make disclosures and work with that type of stuff. But one easy way, especially speaking about electrical, whenever I walk into a new home and I see that it's been substantially renovated, I'll check the electrical panel downstairs. And what I'm looking for is a little black sticker about 1.5 inches wide. It's got in orange writing. It'll have the ESA certificate and the logo on it. That doesn't necessarily mean that the work's been done properly or with permits, but that's a good indicator. If that's not there, to start asking some questions.
Yep.
So little things like that, when you're walking into those type of homes, you definitely want to keep your eyes open. Go look at the panel. They're usually very easily accessible, and that will give you a little bit more insight to how well the work was done.
Yeah, that's I like that. Something, if we're on the permit conversation, I want to talk about is basement suites. If we're here, because if you see a basement suite and you see something that could be like a nanny suite type thing, realtors will typically add right into the listing that it's not a legal basement suite. So they'll kind of cover themselves in that sense. But if you take that on and you start renting that space out, and again, if somebody blows a whistle on you, you could be in for, not, if you're counting on that tenant to be down there to, help you with your mortgage. There's a chance that tenant's going to get kicked out, and you're either going to have to kind of take the walls back down and do it all properly permitted with the city, or, you're in for a risk there.
Man, basement apartments is a whole episode all on its own.
1,000,000%.
There's a lot that we could, and we will be talking about in a future episode with. I'm actually bringing a basement apartment on the market next week.
Are you?
A week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, but it's coming up.
Okay.
It's a legal basement apartment.
Love it.
And let me tell you, my client is probably the most organized person I know out of life in any type of way. And we still had to jump through some significant hoops to get the city to show us proof that it is in fact a legal basement apartment.
Right.
She followed everything to the letter of the law. And so it's a very tricky thing. Anyways, I think what Joey's trying to say is if you see basement apartments, start asking questions.
Yeah.
Simplest one is it legal? Is it not? Know the risks if it's not.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Kind of what I'm getting at the end of the day is, again, you just want to find out if you're planning on and renting it out and it's illegal, know what your risks are.
Yeah. Another kind of pro tip that I like using is the City of Toronto has a pretty good website that shows you the building permit status. And it'll show you if a permit's been pulled, if it's been closed, if it's still open. Because another red flag to watch out for is they may have gotten permits, but not closed them.
Right.
So the work is finished to your eyes, but
point.
not in the city's eyes.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And more often than I care to admit, I've had to deal with open permit properties where we had to put a clause in there stating that you agree to close it and show proof before closing.
Right.
But yeah, I'll put it in the show notes. It's a really good website and it's a good starting point just to start scratching around and, if they say we have permits, one, cool, email them to me. If you don't, I'm going to check the website. If it's not there, you're probably lying.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. Good coverage on permits, I think, because it's an easy. I feel Toronto, especially, I think is very. There's a lot more stickler in Toronto than there is in the
red tape.
Red tape is a better word to use. Yeah, than it is in the GTA and the outskirts. I feel like people are because the age of the houses are a lot older, so there's a lot more worry if something's not done properly.
Yeah,
but it is in Toronto is a lot bigger of a thing. I've noticed than the GTA and the outskirts.
100%. Yeah, we can just leave it there. I think that's a good point to bring up.
Cracked foundations.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
a tricky one.
Yeah, it is because it could be nothing.
And it could be covered and you can't see it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. I've seen cracked foundations where it's just, you just need to put a little bit of filler in it and it's okay. This is just, it's settling. But yeah, 100%. It could just be covered up because they finished the basement. How do you peel those walls back?
Well, and this is a big thing. This is where working with an experienced realtor comes into play here, or someone who's renovated a house, whatever, something of that nature, because the housing stock in the city is old. Like my grandmother's house was built like early 1900s.
Right.
Her foundation is literal stone.
Right.
It's not even block or brick. There's literally like pieces of cobblestone or some type of stone down there. Surprisingly, it's a dry basement. Nonetheless, though, what I'm trying to say is the housing stock is so old that if you have block foundation, it's not when, it's if.
Right.
It's
if it's when. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say here. Like the foundation's not meant to be waterproofed forever.
Right.
And so you probably will have to spend time and do work on it. And there's a few telltale signs you can right off the hop. I always like to start my house tours on the outside and we'll walk the perimeter. We'll see if there's any signs that they've maybe waterproofed and put the membrane up. We're looking for sub pumps in the basement is another good sign that they've probably added weeping tile.
Yeah.
But the easiest way is you walk down there. If it smells musty, there's probably water coming in somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. Yeah. The smell and the moisture, you can, if it's getting that bad.
Yeah.
But 100%. Also, if you're doing the outside walk, look at the grading of the property as well.
Another good point. Yeah.
This shows up in pretty much every single
home inspection
report. Yeah.
But the grading can be improved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you see that basically the soil and the grass, everything is pouring towards the house, and you see that that means the rain is going to drain towards the house, which means an inevitable leak is going to, whatever, penetration is going to happen.
Yeah.
So you want to just make sure that's the low hanging fruit that you can kind of attack and pay attention to.
Right off the hop. Yeah. First telltale sign. And like you look at a lot of homes in High Park area, there's a lot of valleys and gullies and whatnot. And like, if you're at the bottom of those, you're almost guaranteed to be getting water in your place. So you want to ask, no problem. I understand where I'm buying my home. Has it been waterproofed? Has there been issues with it? All those other fun things.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It's quite common. There's another pro tip. Look for humidifiers. Or dehumidifiers. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Got cigars on my mind.
If you're seeing them running in the basement.
Or check under the stairs, because they'll oftentimes hide them under the stairs. Oftentimes, you always check for that little storage space under the stairs.
Yeah.
I almost always see a dehumidifier there. I'm like, what's going on here? So check under those stairs and those hot pockets, because you'll often find them there, and just ask the questions. Maybe it is just stuffy and they want to air it out. That's their right. But, it's usually a telltale sign that there's moisture and water coming in.
Yeah. Exposed concrete is a good, if you have that opportunity to see exposed concrete too, if you bring a home inspector through, they'll have a moisture reader that they'll be able to push right up on things.
Yeah, we're also equipped. We bring our little Home Depot moisture meters. So if we have suspicions, and we caught this one house in the summertime, I was like, there's a little bit of bubbling in that wall. Let me just give it a once over. And sure enough, the whole wall was moisture. Yeah. The client still liked the house. We actually still bought the house even, but we were able to negotiate a better price because of that.
Right. And it's a nice, exactly. Made some good savings there.
Yeah.
Love it. I kind of brought landscaping up.
Yeah. Kind of high level it, I guess.
Yeah. Sloping towards the house.
Yeah.
I think if you're seeing something exaggerated. So what I see on almost every home inspection, it's always the sides of the houses where there's not very, it's not like the backyard leaning towards the house. It's more just between two houses.
Good point.
Where it'll start leaning. And sometimes it's very minor. Actually, most of the times it's very minor. Just something to pay attention to, because it could cause problems in the future.
Yeah. And basements are such a funny thing, because we're tying it together. Like, if you have to waterproof one wall, maybe it's 5,000 to 10,000. If it's the entire perimeter of the house, it could be 25,000, 50,000.
Right.
Or it could be as simple as just caulking the crack along the side, and that might last you 5-10 years, whatever the case is, to get you by type thing. So there's a lot of solutions. It's just being aware of
what could cause the problems.
Yeah.
Another thing too, I'll mention eavesdrops.
That's a big one.
Eavesdrops are always they're a cheap, easy solution. But so if your eavesdrop is not pointed away from your house far enough, if it just kind of drops near and beside, and then you also have the slope that's heading towards your house, you're collecting all the rain that hits the roof, and it's just pouring right back towards your house. So you can get extenders, or pay attention to the neighbor's house. Maybe the neighbor's close enough to you where it's also pouring towards your property. You can have that conversation and say, hey, do you mind? Let's let it all run forward.
Direct it another way. Yeah. I don't know if this is a fact. I believed it to be a fact, but I could be totally wrong in saying this. Something like 70% of Toronto is in a flood zone.
I can get on board with that, though.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that unreasonable to me, because there are so many valleys and whatnots in the city. But keep that in mind, that water in basements is a very common thing, and more often than not, you'll probably find it. So you want to know if no work has been done, what's it going to cost to get you there?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the key takeaway too. Is that if there's water penetrating, what's the resolve? And waterproofing is we're just saying around 50,000.
Depends.
If you're doing around the entire house.
Yeah.
But it'll fluctuate. But it's good to just know where your expenses are going to stay. Basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. The roof. Let's talk about the roof.
The roof.
The roof is on fire. Well, if the roof's on fire, we got bigger problems.
Water seems to be a common trend of this conversation right now.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's the Esca in me. Today's episode is, again, not sponsored by anyone. If you want to sponsor it,
so I think I do the same thing whenever you're pulling up to a house at a first glance. It's always the roof is one of those things. When you're walking around the house, roof is one of the things you're paying attention to. If it's asphalt or shingles,
a flat roof.
If you can see the pieces of the roof, a lot of times you can tell if it's if the shingles are starting to go.
Yeah.
They'll either be discolored or maybe peeling a little bit. That's a telltale sign that there probably might have been some penetration already.
Yep.
And if so, that could have, hit the attic, hit the insulation that's in the attic and caused
a leak,
mold or leak. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I like after windy days. We had a couple windy days this week in Toronto. After windy days, if it's the house you're looking at, go take a closer look. See if any shingles have blown off. That's also it's a nice indication of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the summer months, I love seeing a house in the rain or just after the rain.
Right.
And that's going to tell you everything. You cover the roof, the grating, the waterproofing.
Love that.
Yeah.
I hate the winter when it's just snowed.
Yeah.
Because you can't see anything. You just kind of got to hope.
That in springtime it doesn't all thaw in.
Yeah. But no, 100%. Windy, rain. Seeing houses in the rain in general, you're going to see all the flaws come out if there are any.
Yeah. My pro tip is when you're up in the bedroom, and it's so funny, again, I guess this is the untrained buyer's eye. Most of the time when someone walks into the bedroom, they're analyzing the size, the closet space. Is my bed going to fit? Start by looking up.
Right.
Always look up first. Don't worry about all that other stuff because it's going to tell you if you're going to be able to see telltale signs if water has penetrated in, if there's any bubbles and stuff of that nature.
Right.
Because if you got water up there and mold, it don't matter if your bed fits in there. You're not going to want to sleep in that room.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. And then what does the remediation look like? You got to replace the insulation. You got to replace, anything that's collected mold's got to be cleaned out and replaced. Yeah. So it's
sometimes you can remove it. Sometimes you can spray it down. There's multiple ways of handling it, but just again, knowing about it is the key thing.
Yeah.
I love a good home inspector who comes with a little drone. They'll fly their
drone
go above
up,
the and see it all. They could tell you about also the flashing if there's any gaps in the chimney, any stuff of that nature. So find you a home inspector who does that. The old school ones will still take a ladder up the roof, which is crazy, but kudos to them. And then like the hybrid ones will take a paint stick.
And just stick a camera at the end of it? Yeah.
They put their iPhone up there. And
crazy. Crazy selfie stick.
All works. All those levels work. But yeah, definitely you want to check your roof. Roofs are one of those things, they vary in price depending on the size and the slope and all that other stuff. But like probably between $8,000 to $12,000 for most Toronto 3 to 4 bedroom homes is a good price to kind of budget for.
Yeah.
And the lifespan of a roof is anywhere from 15 to 20 years. One thing I learned, again, I don't know the accuracy of this, is an old Italian wise tale, is you want to go with a lighter colored shingle because the dark color shingles wear out quicker in the sun.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because like all the Italians in my area have green shingles. I'm like, really? It's like this light greenish. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'll show you next time you're at the house. Okay. And then like the new age people have darker ones, like black or brown, and they always, one of these days I'm gonna, you know how Italians are. And that's where I learned. The guy was a roofer, and he's like, the lighter the
it doesn't take the heat as hard, or I guess
disintegrate as fast as the dark ones. I mean, what are you saving? Like, okay, I don't know. You're saving like 5-10 years. You're saving like 2-3 months. The science is out, so I'm not sure which one's which, but. Yeah, that's my piece on roofs.
Love it. Let's get into wiring.
That's a big one.
Yeah, wiring's a big one.
Yeah.
In Toronto specifically, you can have some old houses and you can have some real outdated wiring.
Yeah.
I want to say that there's 3 main types of wiring that you'll usually find, which is copper, which is the kind of what you're looking for.
The most modern material that people are using.
Yes, the safest and best. Aluminum, which is
50-50.
50-50, yeah. And then you have knob and tube.
That's that's danger zone.
Knob and tube can get real expensive to replace. It's fire hazard all over the place. You can tell if one of the outlets doesn't have a ground.
Yeah, that's a good telltale sign.
Yeah, but those are absolutely, you're seeing that, then you have to think how much is this going to cost to replace.
Absolutely. Again, going back to the old housing stock in the age of a lot of our homes in the city, areas like High Park, the beaches, a lot of those old downtown neighborhoods, you'll still find knob and tube in them.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this: the beginning of my career, knob and tube was like the most scariest thing to me. With a little bit of experience, I've learned that it's not the end of the world. It can be replaced. And not a lot, but there are some select insurance companies that will
insure on them
for like the first 6 months.
Okay.
And you have to promise that you'll replace it and they want to see it. Otherwise, they're not going to cover you anymore.
Got you.
So there is that. I've also seen a couple scenarios where you take over the insurance policy from the old person you're buying from. Not take it over, but like you use the same company and the risk that they've agreed to back then, they'll continue to take on now. I don't know how popular that is these days, but we've worked around it.
I'm really happy you brought up insurance because that was one of the things that I think is good to point out in general. Even aluminum, you might find a more expensive premium.
Happened to me.
It did.
Happened to me. Yeah. One of the homes I bought had aluminum in it. I disclosed all that and like, great, your premium's X. And I'm like, whoa. And they're like, well, if you change the copper, it'll drop quite a bit. At the time, I paid somewhere in the $12,000 range to change it.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, when we talk about changing electrical, it's not like a magic wand and then your electrical is new.
Yeah.
They have to cut a lot of holes in the walls. If they're good, they'll just cut about a hockey puck size space, do their work, and then be able to patch it back up. If they're bad, it's going to be a big job.
Yeah.
So keep in mind if you're going through quotes from knob and tube to copper, ask them if like what the full cost is.
The full cost.
Not just the electrical replacement, and factor in the cost of repair of the holes that's going to happen.
Yeah, because I've also seen where, so I remember visiting a house, it was probably a year or two ago. I remember visiting a house that had knob and tube, and they were disclosing it to everybody, and they were giving quotes on what it would cost per room because they already kind of did their due diligence prior to. But that didn't include the after effect. Yeah, the patchwork and the fixing after the fact.
Yeah, and also like, does it include the panel?
Right.
Does it include the Toronto Hydro to come shut your power off? Probably not.
Right.
That could be another like $5,000 to $7,000. So, and also to be fair, if you're walking in a house that has knob and tube, it's probably got a lot of other problems.
I was going to say, this is probably just like a piece of the puzzle that you have to account for at that point.
Yeah. You're not walking to a modern modular square home. You're like, oh, the knob and tube's there. These are like the older Victorian style homes in the 1900s, early 1900s. So kind of comes with the territory if you're buying something like that.
100%. We did live in one of the last places I lived in was a tear down.
Yeah.
And it was before it got torn down, and it was absolutely had knob and tube all over it.
Yeah. Do you remember how many amps the house had? Was it 60 amps?
No, I can't remember now.
So most modern homes are 100 amps. Some of the bigger boys and the more that require more power, well, 200 amp. The knob and tube is generally 60 amp.
Yes. And I experienced that actually recently doing an open house for our other Sage friend of ours.
Okay.
Dan Baum.
Nice.
And Judson, it was an old house, and I remember going down there and opening the panel up, and I was like, yep, that's
60 amps.
60 amps.
Yeah. And what does that number translate to? Well, you probably can't blow dry your hair and watch TV at the same time.
Yeah.
Something's going to pop. Don't even think about vacuuming. And internet, not the house for you. If internet's what you're looking for, find another one. We say it lightheartedly, but the homes with knob and tube do require substantial renovations.
Yeah. Fair and good point. Electrical's huge.
Yeah. All right, let's maybe get to the last one, and I think we'll be in a good place. Of red flags to watch out for.
Yeah, totally. Let's talk about too good to be true. The price.
Yes.
The price deal. Yeah, if you're seeing something that's marked as way below market value, and your flags are going off as to why. You probably there's a reason for it.
Someone could be chopped up in the basement. Could have been a grow up. Plenty of reasons. Could be on an ancient burial ground. There's a lot to be kind of cautious with.
Be weary about.
Yeah. The price is too good. Yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah, 100%. If it's not apparent in the listing sheet, you'll walk up and within minutes you'll be able to tell what's going on.
One thing I keep seeing, I keep hearing about quite often every couple of years, it's people unknowingly buy heritage homes. And the challenge when you buy a heritage home is, yes, if you want to do any type of work on it, you usually have to get a lot of permissions, city permissions, historical board permissions, stuff of that nature. One of the famous figure skaters, are you into figure skating? I don't think you are, but I mean, do you know the figure skating now?
No, not too much.
I can't remember her name. She's like Tessa Virtue.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
I think it's Tessa Virtue. And I think she married a hockey player.
Okay.
Or is engaged to one.
Yeah.
And they bought a house, I think, in Rosedale. There's a lot of things with this story, so don't fact check me on it. It's a very blog TOS story. Anyways, this part I know of. They wanted to change the outside color of their home. And they couldn't because it was historical. They did it, and now are facing fines for messing with the historical nature of the home.
Get out of here,
Yeah, because it's not easy to identify if the realtor is not aware of it. Like, it's not something that
you're not paying attention to it that much.
Yeah, it's one of those under the radar things.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't, but when it does, it does.
Yeah, it's a hindrance and a half.
Yeah, because you're very limited to what you can do. You might have to keep the outside facade or certain elements of the house, and you can only do so many things that usually require quite a bit of money. So definitely do your due diligence. Cabbagetown, Dufferin Grove, High Park, those type of areas, Rosedale, of course. You got to be very careful with what you buy there.
Yeah. No,
do your
I like
due diligence. And another red flag that it's not really that popular anymore. I don't know if you learned this in real estate school. Did they talk much about gas tanks to you?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
Gas tank. Yeah.
I know where you're going. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay, if you have a gas tank in your basement, sorry, I'm saying gas, the old oil tanks.
Oil tanks,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
An oil tank in the basement is not a massive red flag, but something to kind of investigate further. It's when you find no oil tank in the basement, you have to ask, where was it? Because if it's in the back and it's underground and it's covered, those things leak, you're responsible for everyone's house around you.
Yeah, that's brutal.
If the soil's spoiled.
Yeah. And if you're looking for an update, I know removing those things are also like, you got to be so careful.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and it's dangerous because like, yeah, it's got to be done properly. I think with the right group too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a special, I forget what the name of them are. Who is specified to take them out?
Okay.
There's a whole thing behind it, and obviously they're old, so they can,
Yeah, areas like Mimico, New Toronto, in the kind of southwest part of the city, very common to find oil tanks. And again, if they're not in the basement, you want to ask where they are, because that too good to be true deal might have you remediate the soil for 4 neighbors around you or more.
So brutal.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good.
Good summary.
Yeah. Do you want to do your wrap up takeaways there?
Okay. Wrap up takeaways. Buyers, home inspections are they're a really good line of defense when it comes to shopping. So don't cheap out. Use guys who are going to be
people.
thorough. Yeah. Reputable people. Also, if you're somebody who's looking to buy it and somebody's providing you with a pre-listing home inspection and it's Joe Schmo,
a known company.
Yeah. Just get another one and orchestrate it so it's in there if you can.
I like that you brought that up. I don't know if you were at the office meeting when the lawyer Mitch was talking about home inspections. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Kind of, sort
I
of?
was there.
Okay. So because the viewers at home weren't, I'll share the story. But he was basically saying, so if I represent a seller and the seller or myself, whomever gets a home inspection, you can review it as the buyer, but there is no weight to it. They did their own. You're relying on it.
Yep.
Whether they miss something or not, you don't have much of a leg to stand on. So we had to, basically the lesson was, if you're a buyer relying on a seller's home inspection, you want to get a letter from the home inspector saying that, yes, as buyer, you could rely on it the same way the seller was.
Right.
I thought that was an interesting thing.
Yeah. And it's definitely not talked about.
No, never heard it talked about.
No, it's insane that it got brought up only recently to that extent.
Yeah.
Because it seems obvious when you say it out loud, but nobody does it.
Yeah. And in this market, don't get us wrong, like, you're definitely able to do a home inspection more so than other hot markets.
Yeah.
But when it picks up again and you're relying on sellers, this is the situation we're referring to, where it's like, and like, even if there's an offer date of 7 days out, don't be afraid to do your own home inspection on day 4.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. You can still get it done. You can still do your due diligence.
You got to ask the other side and get permissions. But if you're not comfortable with the home inspection they're providing, or there's something more that you're like, ooh, I really want to get this area checked out, by all means, do your own.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's on the buyer side. On the seller side, if you're doing the pre-listing home inspections and you notice stuff, honestly, it's a good way of just getting disclosures out there in general and protecting yourself, because you don't want lawsuits later down the road.
If you see it, say it.
If you see it, say it. That's going to be a common thing that comes up on the next little bit.
I was thinking of getting a TV and we could just put like slogans. And then they're like, if you see it, say it. Danger zone.
Danger zone is something we haven't brought up.
I thought this episode we would have dropped a couple danger zones.
We did none of them.
No danger zones. There's a lot in here. We just didn't use the phrase. Sellers, if you have something you're aware of, say it. We've sold many homes with problems by telling people, hey, there's a leak in the cantina, or I don't know, what do Canadians call cantinas? Cold room?
I guess cold room.
Cold room, yeah.
I also call them cantinas.
Cantinas, yeah. Growing up, when someone's like, where's the cold room? I'm like, I don't know, but that's a cantina. Now I call it cold room, but yeah. Then we're talking about the room underneath the stairs. Like, those are often leaking. It's quite common to see that. And, when I was talking to a couple agents, they're like, you don't have to disclose that. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Just put it in the contract. Put it in your Schedule B. Make it aware.
Sleep at night.
Yeah.
Sleep at night. You don't want to get a message a couple months later and they're like, that's
you knew about this problem and now you're getting sued.
Yeah. Just sleep at night. It's easier. You're going to find somebody who's okay with it.
Right. As long as they know what they're getting themselves into, and they can work out a price that makes sense for them to remediate the problem, or just pass on the house altogether.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I think that's pretty much it. The golden rule is if something sketchy is happening, if you're noticing something sketchy, if any of the red flags are going off, ask more questions and do more due diligence.
Yeah. Scratch a lie, catch a thief.
Yeah.
I learned that from the Ray Charles documentary. You like Ray Charles?
Yeah.
I love Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big Ray Charles fan.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I legit am. Yeah. I got like all
Your
of his-
music taste throws me for a loop.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
love
just
Ray Charles.
imagine you as like straight Euro beats and like that's it. But you bring out these like rock or these rock, I mean, Ray Charles
References.
Yeah. These other references that I just don't.
Oh, try me. I love rock.
Well, you got Jimmy the Rock God as
I got my dad who heavily influences my rock and roll forte.
Yeah.
No, Ray Charles is. What do I like about Ray Charles? I mean, the guy's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm a Ray Charles fan. And in the documentary or the biopic, scratch a lie, catch a thief. That's the lesson.
I never actually watched that.
Oh, Jamie
biopic.
Foxx?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Does really well in it.
I'm putting
Very
it on the
convincing.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he learned piano for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that.
Does the mess around? It's one of the songs.
Yeah.
I'm a little mad we didn't bring red flags for this episode.
Oh, true.
You know how
that could have been a great prop for this whole thing. Just dropping red flags.
Yeah, red flags.
Just pile them up in the front.
We missed red cards. We could have done soccer references. TFC game. Missed opportunities.
Yeah, we missed some opportunities. Danger zones, red flags.
Danger zones and red flags. That's the theme of the episode. I think we covered a lot of stuff here.
We did. Yeah. I think we're in a good stride.
Yeah. Any shout outs?
Shout out Freebird Market.
I like it.
And the Fatas.
Yeah.
For pointing that out.
Who sings the song Freebird?
Leonard Skinner.
Hey! Green flag. Oh, that song always reminds me of there's a horror flick, a horror movie. It's directed by Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Do you know Rob Zombie?
Yeah.
White Zombie?
Red Zombie.
White Zombie's the band. Rob Zombie's the guy in it.
Rob Zombie. And
And they're like driving in the car and they kill everybody and Freebird's playing.
No,
it's a twisted movie.
I do not know this. Yeah.
That's why when the Americans sing it when they win the hockey game, I'm like, okay, psychos. Why'd you play Ray Charles? America the Beautiful. Kind of writes itself. Shout outs. I want to shout out Mott32.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Lot 332 because that's where I used to dance to Geno beats.
Okay.
I think it's a condo now. Oh, it's definitely a condo now. Everything's a condo now. I want to shout out Toronto FC. I wish you guys a better year than the start that's been. But I think they're on to something good.
Love it.
Goat Yoga. Did you?
Go Yoga. Let's shout out Yoga Kawa.
Yoga Kawa.
Go to yogakawa.com.
Kawa. Oh, Kawa. So I see how you spelled it here. You spelled it with a K.
Yoga Kawa.
Kawa.
Yeah,
the way you were saying it, I thought it was like Kawa, like C-O.
like C-O-W?
Cow.
Yeah.
That's why I made the cow reference. All right. I feel like there's a big shout out I'm missing here. I mean, Lisa C had her whole segment last week.
Yeah.
So no shout out for Lisa C this week. We still love you, but no shout out. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
It has been.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Toronto Livings Real Estate Podcast. You could find more information on how we work over at torontolivings.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get price reports from over 150 different neighborhoods in the city each and every month.
If you got any value, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you made it this far, thanks for listening.